Phew! Finally, a little relief in the market. Buyers, I'm finally seeing a slight shift. It is still a strong seller's market, but there are some indications buyers might see some relief. Stay tuned for a full market update. Hi, I'm Theresa Wellman with HomeownerExperience.com, your local San Jose, California realtor. It is the month of November, and typically this would be a sleepy season in the real estate market. But if you've been out shopping for homes or selling a home, you know it has not been anything close to that. It has been a very active, low inventory, multiple offer market. But there are some indications that we might be finally seeing a slight shift for the fall winter market. So let's jump into the computer and talk about the specifics.
Okay, here we are with the San Jose real estate chart from 2012 all the way through October 2020. So I want you to get a perspective of the market before we get into the stats, because as you can see, orange and blue are prices and they have been on the increase this year. Green is the number of sales and they have been really strong this year. Obviously a little slow when coronavirus first affected the area, but inventory, this yellow line, is really low. So that gives you a little perspective of the last several years, how the market is looking. So let's talk about specifics. So in October, the closed prices were up from September and are now exceeding the 2018 peak. The average price was up 4.9% in just 1 month. And that is because there are an increased number of sales and a lot of activity in the market that is driving up those prices. September pendings were really strong, so that's why we, as expected, saw an increase in sales in October. Now, the market is opposite of typical fall right now because prices are increasing, the number of sales are increasing, and typically in the fall we would start to see those things slow down. So let's look at the market again as perspective. As you see here, the yellow line is the last 3 months of 2019 and 2020. Typically the number of sales, including pending and inventory, everything would be on the decrease. But as you can see here, inventory's kind of been steady, sales have been up, and pending sales have been up, which has made prices go up, where typically prices soften a little bit in the fall. So very unusual for this time of year. And if we go back and look at the previous years, also just not quite the trend. You would see these inventories are dropping, pending sales are dropping, the number of closed sales are dropping. We're not quite there yet. It's starting to feel a little reminiscent of what we saw in the fall of 2017 with the inventory dropping. But even as you can see here, those number of sales did drop and the pending sales dropped, and we just haven't hit that point yet. So the October inventory was actually up 9% from September, which is still, as you saw on the chart, very low for October. Only lower on record is the 2017 time that I talked about. The pending sales are finally turning slightly a direction with maybe a little hint of the fall market, but we only have 21 days of inventory still. So it is still a very strong seller's market. Pending sales were down 4%, so just a tiny bit, not what we would expect this time of year. And sales price to list price ratio of the closed sales was 103.8%. So yes, this market still needs inventory. It's got multiple offers and prices are crazy. So 60% of the homes on the market are currently in contract, which is really strong, but it is slightly softer than last month, which was at 64%. So I am seeing a slight reverse in the recent trends that maybe there is some indication that a fall market might be happening. I don't know. So again, looking back at this, you see the pending sales took a little turn and inventory took a little peak up, which again are both opposite. Well, pending down would be normal, but how high they are is just really unusual. And inventory going up this time of year is unusual, but as you can see, we're just at record lows. Now, I wanted to kind of mention the condo market. I don't talk about the condo market very much, but the reason I want to point it out is it's quite different than what we're seeing in the single family home market all across the county and in San Jose. So this is a county-wide chart of the condo market with the color of lines meaning the same thing. So inventory is pretty healthy and strong and maybe higher than usual for as you can see here, where sales have actually been a little bit softer. They're very strong for October, but we do have 48 days of inventory. So it is not quite as strong of a seller's market. And I would, that's even fluctuate up to almost 3 months at some points here. So I would say that the condo market is definitely more of a neutral market. And because of that, things are selling near their asking price. Now let's talk about the interest rates. I think that's a lot of what's fueling these buyers to jump into the market. Excellent interest rates. This is a 3-year chart and you can see that it's just been down, down, down. There's a few little pop-ups or aberrations in there, but we're below 3% interest rates for a regular mortgage. That is just phenomenal. Really inexpensive money making homes, even though the prices are expensive, it makes the monthly payment more affordable because that interest rate is so low. Now here is the comparison I like to do of the S&P 500 versus the Santa Clara County home prices. We've had some scare when coronavirus hit and the S&P 500 really dropped, but as you can see, it's recovered and we're much more in alignment. There's been a little softening in the S&P 500 again, which you would expect with the real estate market to follow and trend down a little bit in the fall. So we'll see if those prices do start to soften. With being out in the field and seeing multiple offers, I've had many buyers in competing these last couple weeks, 24 offers, 10 offers, 12 offers. So I don't really anticipate the prices to soften quite yet, even with the closings next month, because the amount of activity on listings has just been crazy. Okay, the unemployment rate is continuing to drop, but slowly. So we're about 7% in Santa Clara County. And so we haven't felt maybe the impact of that yet. And so the question will be, what happens in 2021? I think if there are sellers who have lost their job, they're going to be looking, or homeowners, they're going to be looking at selling soon. But most people have equity in their property. So I don't think we're going to have a foreclosure problem, but might have an increased amount of inventory in 2021. So it shall be interesting to see if that happens and kind of tempers the market a little bit. So next, you should watch with my first time homebuyer guide and the 10 mistakes to avoid. Or if you're interested in selling, I have a great playlist on seller topics that you might find interesting. Thanks for watching.